Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely cam link where you're able to capture content from your camera to your PC. For more information about this product, the link is in the description below. I won't be surprised, but it's a rematch.
And welcome along to the AOR Hype Energy F1 Leagues, and it's round 14 of the championship here from the wonderful Circuit of the Americas. Last time out we saw the Flying Finn wrap up the world title in style. He and a number of others are not with us for this Grand Prix, which is a bit of a shame. And that includes the legendary commentator Justin Sutton, who is ill, and that means that I, Ginger Andy, am joined by Jess for tonight's stream. It should be a cracker, shouldn't it, Jess?
Yes, definitely. America does definitely bring some interesting overtakes and moves as well, but we don't have a full lobby tonight. We only have 11 drivers. We'd like to apologize for starting a bit late. The Xbox multiplayer system didn't work and the lobby was having a few issues from a lot of our drivers, including myself as well, so that is why we were late starting, but hopefully we are back in business now and we should be fine, not a problem at all. So this United States Grand Prix did start in 1900s and it was involved in 10 different locations. It got held up before it got held in Austin, where we are now. It was back on the F1 calendar in 2012, and to be honest, I'm really glad it was. And the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel have won here as well, and one of the races was in 2015 where Lewis Hamilton won the Drivers' Championship in Austin. So there are some very memorable race things going on at the moment. So let's go straight to qualifying, where we got all the action today. Evo is hoping to get a win today again after it was very, very close to taking the championship fight to the USA last week, but Evo and the Flying Finn were so close last week that it was just missed, but it must have been bittersweet for him. But he's got to forget about the past and start thinking about what he's going to do today.
Absolutely, and Evo, I'm not sure if he's back in the lobby. He did disconnect just before the stream started, so we might even be down to just the 10 runners here. We'll have to keep an eye and see if he can get back in. But yeah, absolutely a depleted field, of course. The Flying Finn and his brother Alonso, they both went to Cyprus on holiday, so they are ruled out to the end of the season. The Flying Finn actually asked and prayed and hoped that his dad could extend his stay in the UK before he moved to Cyprus so he could wrap up that title last week, and of course he did, coming home second behind NLR Evil, of course. But this will open up this Grand Prix for a lot of drivers who haven't yet been challenging at the front to win a race. As I've said, no Finn, no Alonso. Evo at the moment is in the pits and we don't think he's been able to join back, so a real opportunity here for the likes of Danny M7, Lockdown, EVR boys of Reynolds and Morso, and many others to try and get a famous victory under their belt in the AOR Xbox One top tier. I mean, of course, we've only had 3 winners this season. Of course, NLR Evo's won a few races. He's won at 4, I believe. The Flying Finn has won the majority of the Grand Prix this season, and of course that dramatic race back in Singapore, which was won famously by TOR Leopard. So 3 drivers have actually won a race this season. Will anyone else be able to get a victory and deny NLR Evo, who would clearly be the favourite going into this one? I'm riding on board with Danny M7 at the moment, as Pinecone puts the first lap time of the session on the board, a 1:33 flat, which is immediately pipped by CRL Rosberg. He'll be hoping to try and get a strong result. TOR Leopard now goes quickest on a 1:32.758, but Danny M7 up to the line he goes, and he goes second quickest, a 1:32.827, second of the 4 drivers to put a time on the board with around 7 minutes and 40 seconds in this session remaining. We are expecting, I've been speaking to a few of the drivers before the start of this Grand Prix weekend, and they believe a low 1 minute 32 is where the pole time will be around. So we'll keep an eye and see if they get close to that. It's certainly been quite accurate, what the drivers say with the pole times in the past, yes. So it should be a tight session with no Finn and potentially no Evo.
Yes, and I've just received something in the chat from the Flying Thing. So obviously the Flying Thing couldn't make it tonight, but he's in the YouTube chat, so nice to still see supporting the stream there. Unfortunately, Ycoms and Evo won't be racing today due to Xbox Live issues, so we won't see an Evo win or anything like that. So it's a bit of a shame that they're not Evo's not racing today, because it would have been nice to see if he can get another win. But Xbox Live is just playing up for them, unfortunately. So that's the update. Thanks to the Flying Fin for that update there. So let us know your thoughts as well, who you think is going to take this win as well. Few people are saying Danny and possibly Pinecone as well, and Leopard seems to be doing well as well, and we could see some very surprise victories here. Ultra Softs, Super Softs and Softs are the tyres are going to be people in this track today, with most people going on the one stop as we said. But it's very interesting the people that could be on the softs and then to go on to the ultras, because that sometimes works out very well, because they can make their pace through the field and capitalise on the other drivers, and because they got longer stints. But we will have to see which strategy will work out the best for them. So we are riding on board with Pinecone then at the moment in the Haas at the moment. One of the favourites at the moment to possibly take this victory maybe, but he is a midfield runner, so he's looking to possibly take his first win. But it should be very, very exciting, and this track is also very common for people exceeding track limits. I have seen in most races I commentated for in Austin a lot of people getting penalties, and most races I've seen as well have races decided on penalties, and we really don't want history to repeat itself today, because it is actually quite hard to stay on the track in Austin. So we've got to watch out for if the drivers are clean today, and I know the coordinators and the stewards of the league will be watching as well, just to be sure they're not track extending. Pinecone did track extend a little bit, but no, Pinecone is going to the pits. His time lap was invalidated, so he won't be setting another lap. I think everyone's going to the pits now, but we still got the likes of Morso and Reynolds still to set a lap time, Andy.
Yeah, we sure do. No time on the board from either of the EVR lads. The quickest time at the moment, 1 minute 32.7, set by TOR Leopard, one of the three men, of course, that has won a race this season. I'm supposed to be neutral in the commentary box, but I would like to see a fourth different winner this weekend, so we will hope and pray for that. But still no sign of NLR Evo yet, which is a bit of a shame. It is a great track, and as you say, Jess, it is a track that does often promote a little bit of corner cutting, etc. You know, it's a very high speed first sector of the lap as well, and it's very easy to run wide. Perhaps if the track maybe had a few more gravel traps in it, you know, like Suzuka, the drivers would be less likely to do that. But it is, of course, the top tier NEOR Xbox, so I don't expect there to be too many in the way of penalties. But TOR Leopard on top from CRL Hamilton at the moment. Danny M7 third quickest. P1R Brown is fourth quickest at the moment. TR Pinecone is fifth. CRL Rosberg, Kyle Lockdown and Sam F1 LFC, the last of the drivers to get a time on the board. We have a little bit of a lull in the session at the moment, but EVR Morso has decided to come out of the pits. The man from Belfast. I had the pleasure of meeting this man in the Formula 1 paddock a few weeks ago when he was on F1 esports duties. Unfortunately, he didn't quite manage to squeeze into a team, but I'm sure he'll be hoping in the future to get himself into one of those teams. The man from Belfast then heading down this long back straight, and it is a racetrack that has a lot of similarities, shall we say, with a lot of the racetracks on the calendar. I think Herman Tilker's taken a little bit of from a lot of other tracks in the corner. If you think about turn 1, for example, it's a bit like Austria, the climb up the hill. You know, you can brake really hard, it's really open, and it allows for a lot of hard braking manoeuvres. Then you've got that turn 3, turn 4, 5, 6. It's like Silverstone, you know, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel section. And then you've got the turn 12 to 14 section at the end of that long back straight. It's a bit like the stadium section at Hockenheim. Then that long sweeping turn 16 corner that is actually classed as 3 corners, 16, 17 and 18, which reminds you of that brilliant circuit in Istanbul, that wonderful sweeping turn 8 corner. But here goes AVR Morso across the start-finish line. Let's take you for a lap of the circuit, heading up the hill. You can brake extremely late, use the hill to your advantage, and then it's a little bit blind as you approach the top of the crest, trying to find the apex. And Morso there having a few problems as he locks up that left front and runs extremely wide. Now sweeping down the hill through turn 2, apologies, then through 3, 4, 5 and 6. Great place for the fans to watch on the grandstand there on the right hand side. Then down the hill into this extremely tricky section, left then right. The car always understeering through here, so difficult as you get the power down and then head on the long descent down towards turn 11. Heavy braking zone, a bit like turn 1 in the sense that it's extremely wide on the way in and you can try and make any moves stick. Then down this long back straight towards turn 12. This is where the majority of the overtaking will be done in the race. As you can see, AVR Morso opening up the DRS, reaching out around 200 miles an hour as he slams on the brakes. It reminds me, as I've said, I like that stadium section in Germany at the Hockenheimring. So now trying low speed corners, third gear, 70, 80 miles an hour, up through the gears, then another heavy braking zone in another area on this racetrack where you can try and lunge up the inside. It's a circuit full of Daniel Ricciardo-esque positions to make a manoeuvre. And now through this long sweeping turn 16, 17 and 18, it really does strain the neck on the driver, and of course it really does strain the aero on the car. It does separate the best cars from the worst, but of course it is equal cars in this top tier and apex online racing. So here comes Morso for the line, his first lap of the session, an unimpressive 1:35.1 Jess, but all the main runners, they're out on track, and it's going to be an exciting finish to qualifying, isn't it?
Yes, it's very interesting to see that a lot of the drivers come out in this late stage, but I'm just actually going to see what tyres everybody's on there, or on the ultra soft. So all of them on the same strategy, but if you qualify outside the top 10, you can choose whatever tyre they want. But in this case, I think only one can. But due to the fact Evo can't make it, I think all of them will probably have to qualify on the ultra soft. So it'll be such a shame that we won't be able to see a mix of strategy, like a soft to ultra soft strategy. But it is just the way things go these days with these tracks as well. So that should be very interesting to see. Let me know your thoughts in the chat as well. We've just seen Leopard put his time on the board, and Pinecone has just set a very good lap time with a 1:32.7. I did predict Pinecone was going to do well in this track, and he has delivered massively in the Haas there. Absolutely brilliant there. He's looking to have a strong finish. Maybe we could see a different winner. It looks like we will have a different winner unless Leopard wins. I do believe Leopard, and he has won in Singapore, I believe. Was that right? I'm not entirely sure.
Yes, he did. He won that Singapore Grand Prix where Evo and Finn came together. There was a lot of discussions about whether it was lag or what had happened, but in the end, it worked perfectly into the favour of TOR Leopard. It was a classic race, that one, back in Singapore. It really had absolutely everything. If you haven't watched it yet, be sure to check it out on the AOR YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos, so many great races over the course of the season, but that one is the one that stands out for me. But I'm looking at CRL Hamilton. He's going to be the first of the main contenders to hit the checkered flag. He's got to find just a 10th to pop himself up into pole, and he's found more than that. A 1:32.478. P1R Brown immediately goes second. The times are going to tumble rapidly here. Now we need to go to TOR Leopard, CRL Hamilton's teammate. Can he make it to Williams on the front row? No, he can't. A disappointing effort from him. Now, what about Pinecone? Rosberg and Lockdown have abandoned their laps, so it's only Pinecone and Danny that you can feel to do anything about that CRL Hamilton pole. Pinecone then sweeping down the hill towards that final corner in the Haas. Are we on for a Pinecone pole? Jess called it. Let's have a look and see. Pinecone reaches for the line and he goes second quickest. Almost enough for pole, but now it's all down to Danny M7. Here comes the man from Teesside, and where has he gone as he hits the line? Second quickest, onto the front row goes the Red Bull driver. It wasn't enough to displace TRL Hamilton, and it is he that takes the pole position here in the United States of America. CRL Hamilton on pole for Williams by around a 10.5 to Danny M7 with that late effort just shy of the pole position. TR Pinecone was third, and then it was P1R Brown that was fourth. TR Leopard, he'll be disappointed with fifth, having been top of the standings before that final flurry of action. CRL Rosberg starts from sixth. Cryle Lockdown is seventh, the Dutchman. Then it's eighth for EVR Morso. Sam is ninth, and EVR Reynolds rounds out the top 10 with no time on the board. It's such a shame, Jess, to have so few drivers, but they seem extremely tightly packed, aren't they?
Yes, and it's very impressive to see a different pole sitter. We usually see the Flying Finn or Evo tape pole, so it is great to see one of these drivers in the mix as well, and this can prove steed for next year, because in the new season of F1 2018, it's not just pride at stake. They'll be winning prizes, real-life prizes as well, so that will be very exciting. We can't reveal what prizes they'll be winning, but I know it's going to be very, very exciting, and they have an extra incentive to do well in F1, because I think most of them will probably be F1 material. So yes, looks like it's a cloudy United States Grand Prix, but we never know. The weather can change in a blink of an eye, so that could be an interesting, and it'll be interesting to see if Hamilton can pick up the pressure a little bit, Andy.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I woke up from my bedroom and in the just outside the paddock this morning, saw a little bit of cloud, and didn't bother packing the sun cream. So are we on the way for a little bit of rain this afternoon? We'll find out as the 5 red lights go on here in the United States. And when they go out, we will be racing. CRL Hamilton then leads them away from pole position up the hill towards turn 1. Remember, it's an extremely wide opening corner, plenty of room for moves, but CRL Hamilton survives and holds on from Danny M7 second as they sweep down the hill towards turn 2. Hamilton leading, Danny M7 second, Pinecone third. All sorts of action in the background, extremely close. Who's that going side by side? Rosberg making a move on Pinecone through turns 3 and 4. They're still side by side, but Rosberg looks to have got the upper hand and has snatched that 3rd place away. So superb start from CRL Rosberg, but Hamilton survives. He leads, Danny M7 second, and Rosberg in 3rd, Jess.
Wow, what battles already involving at the start of this Grand Prix, and Hamilton managed to control that start and was able to keep the lead, but it almost like Pinecone was almost getting the switchback done, but Rosberg was able to do that quite nicely. We also got some battles midway down the field as well, with Sam F1 LFC and PRL Brown as well. They're side by side, and also there's some battles quite up front as well, as the Force India tries to squeeze the Sauber there as well. We got the other Sauber there as well. Possibly team strategy could work with this, because it's the team constructors to think about as well. It's not just the drivers, it is the teams as well. So they could be working together and scored some very valuable points for the team. We've noticed Leopard has dropped way down the field, so not the best for him, but absolutely, like I said, absolutely brilliant stuff from Hamilton. We're just going to see how this battle unfolds for the 2 Saubers. Oh, we seen a Sauber go wide, but luckily there was no contact from any of that. That was from Sam F1 LFC, who made a bit of contact, but luckily there was no damage at all, so he was able to keep it very clean and know that he was in the wrong, and was able to give that position back. So already the field is absolutely bunched together at the start of this race, which shows how well these drivers do well in this game, and I can't wait to see how they are in 2018. They're going to be probably even closer with faster lap times, faster pace and stuff like that. So the gap between Hamilton and Danny then, 8/10 per second, now down to 1, because Hamilton is increasing the gap a bit going into turn 1. So absolutely amazing stuff from Hamilton as well. But we've got Leopard trying to close in as well on Pinecone as well. He's not very far behind of the Williams. It could play different, see who has the faster pace. Will it be Pinecone or will it be Leopard? But it's all to play for here, Andy.
It sure is, all to play for, and as you mentioned, Jess, it is extremely tight between these drivers, and I'm not surprised at all, because when you look at the Drivers' Championship standings, Finn, Evo running away from the rest of them. Surprise, who's 3rd, and a solid 3rd, 40 points ahead of the man in 4th. He's not here either. So basically the guys that are here is that midfield group, and that's what means, that's why you have such a tight fight. We see it so often in AOR F1 over the course of the season, that the midfield group are always extremely tightly compact, and it usually provides us more drama than anywhere else at the racetrack. And the advantage we have, okay, we've only got 10 drivers, everyone's a bit, oh come on, why is there only 10 people? But that midfield group are now all going to be fighting for the victory, so don't go anywhere, folks. It should be a cracking race, and at the moment, you're not being disappointed, because the top 10 are very evenly matched in these early exchanges. If we go and look at TOR Leopard, he's having a look at Pinecone into turn 1, and he's having a lunge up the inside, and he goes through, but look at that, Pinecone on the edge of the corner, comes straight back at him. A little bit deep into the corner went Leopard. Pinecone knew it, didn't panic, and then just slithered back underneath the Williams. But Leopard knows if he wants to get a second win of the season, he's going to have to do the best he can. I don't know about you, but I've got a bit of lag here, Jess. I hope you're not experiencing the same thing for the viewers on the stream. But I'm experiencing a little bit of lag.
I've got a bit of lag, but not as much as you probably. So hopefully it will be sorted soon. But I think I've noticed in the morning stream it was quite laggy as well. So possibly Xbox is having some problems this evening, which is a bit of a shame, really, throughout the day. But we will keep you guys up to date as well. So we've got Leopard already on the back of Brown, but also we've noticed a lot of people have got time. A lot of people have got time penalties as well. So, like I said earlier on in this broadcast, it is a track limit heavy track where a lot of people will just go off, and we have plenty of warnings already. So I won't be surprised if those go to penalties. So I didn't see who it was, but I did see a few of the drivers get penalties already. So not good for them. Hopefully we can see a lot of other drivers on clean state at the moment. So it's fine. Oh, we got someone go wide. That was Leopard. He's got a warning for that. So and Danny's got fastest lap. He is already closing the gap to Hamilton then, which is what we like to see. Danny has never been in his position in AOR for such a long time, and he must be enjoying these battles as much as the midfield are as well. This is going to be extremely close between these guys. And I've just noticed as well, the pit window for these Ultrasofts is between lap 7 and lap 12. So those are when the people on the Ultrasoft tyres, which is pretty much everyone, are going to start pitting.
It needs to be noted, Jess, here, because we had a go at EVR Reynolds for not sending a time, but that could be an inspired decision. By deciding not to put a time on the board, he starts 10th and gets free tyre choice, and he has decided to go for the soft compound tyre. He didn't do a lap time, and he's gone for a set of the soft compound. So EVR Reynolds on the soft, going for a totally different strategy. That is going to be really exciting to see later on in the Grand Prix, to see if he can come charging through the field and possibly even challenge for a podium this afternoon, as I keep an eye on Pinecone, who's right up behind Rosberg. And who's that having a look up the inside? Leopard as well, having a look at making a move. So there's quite a little scrap going on there. It looks like Rosberg is the cork in the champagne bottle at the moment. The front two are breaking away a little bit, and the guys behind are getting frustrated as Leopard clips Pinecone there. Oh, that was close. Nearly sending Pinecone into a spin as they go sweeping through turn 16, 17 and 18. But it is CRL Hamilton with a 1.2 second advantage over Danny M7 after 4 laps of racing. CRL Rosberg, as we've said, is holding these guys up at the moment. Pinecone, Leopard, Brown and Sam, LFC and Lockdown, all sitting in a queue waiting for any move to be made. As we watch Leopard again, is he going to go diving up the inside again into turn 1? He's tried this already. Can he make it stick this time? It looks like it's going to happen again. He's going to go up the inside and then cutting back underneath as Pinecone, as they run through turn 2, sweeping down into turn 3 and 4, and Pinecone keeps his place for the moment. Leopard, the man, the daredevil man, trying to make some moves, and Pinecone running a little bit deep now as they go sweeping down the hill. Is Leopard going to get that move done eventually? Yes, he is. He snatches the 4th place away and drops Pinecone to 5th, and now he can set his sights on CRL Rosberg ahead. Interestingly, Danny M7 cutting that gap back underneath a second with the DRS now to his advantage. Can he continue to close on CRL Hamilton? Now, I don't like to be critical, but CRL Hamilton over the course of the season has been renowned for making errors and throwing away great positions in other leagues and, of course, in AOR. So we'll see if he's got the bottle this time round, and to see if he can hold on for that victory. It would be good for him if he could do that, but he is renowned for making a few errors, a few corner cut penalties, but at the moment he's made no errors thus far. Lap 5 out of 28, he's in control. Danny M7 second, Rosberg third, then a huge train developing now behind TOR Leopard. You've got Leopard, Pinecone, Brown, the 2 Saubers all in that group, and a shout out to EVR Reynolds, who is 1 second at the moment off the back of those guys on the soft compound tire. The more they continue to battle, the more that brings Reynolds into contention. So he's running pretty well, sitting pretty in the early stage of this Grand Prix. EVR more so, of course. He seems to have been in the pits earlier on, I'm not sure why, and he's on the super soft tire around a pit stop adrift of these guys, Jess.
Yes, it's nice to see that train of cars going through turn 1 is absolutely incredible. And I think what the move Leopard made was a replica of what he'd done a few laps earlier. So it just goes to show that I think a few of the drivers are making the exact same mistakes, and it's allowing Leopard to make his way through past these guys. As Lockdown has got a time penalty, but we've seen Force India going way off the track there. That was PR Brown, which is not good for him. That's allowing Reynolds to close up to Brown now and possibly try and get a points finish. Let's follow this battle then between Brown and Reynolds. Reynolds on the soft tyre, but Brown on the faster tyre. Who's going to have advantage at the moment? It's quite tricky in these corners to make some overtakes, but I don't know how these drivers do it. They do seem to be doing it absolutely astonishing. The gap on the train is absolutely incredible. So we've got Leopard, Pinecone, Lockdown, Sam, PR Bray and Reynolds on the same train. This is getting ever so tight and ever so crazy. They just got to watch out for mistakes, because if any one of those drivers make mistakes, the other drivers could be waiting for them and could possibly do a swooping overtake, which the other drivers can't afford to lose at this stage. Looks like Reynolds is closing in just a little bit. They've got a few more opportunities to close in as well, going through to the last few corners of Austin, but maybe he can make it count at the moment. We've got one more lap before the pit window for these ultra soft tyres. Reynolds can make his way up through the field and stretch the gap to as much as possible between these guys, but you never know, these gaps are so close. This soft strategy could possibly work for Reynolds. Maybe he chose not to set a lap time because he wanted to choose his own tyre strategy, Andy.
Yeah, perhaps Leopard having a look up the inside there on CRL Rosberg in the turn one. He didn't quite make it stick. Interestingly, I've just noticed there, apologies if it happened when I said that Hamilton hadn't. It does now, so CRL Hamilton, I said it, a man that often gets a penalty and is always hoping and praying that he doesn't. I was always hoping to have a good race. Well, it's starting to undo already, unravel, because he's got himself a time penalty. He's joined EVR Reynolds with a penalty and Cryo Lockdown. The three of those drivers have a penalty, and that is so crucial in a field of 10 drivers that are all going to score points and they're all extremely well matched. We're 7 laps into this Grand Prix, and the top 9, they're separated by 8 seconds. So there you go. It's extremely tight between them. As we now watch Leopard have a look up the inside again on Rosberg. He does seem like the man that's interested in making the moves here in this race today. A lot of people sitting pretty, not making any major moves, but Leopard is certainly all over the road doing his best to try and get some moves done, but at the moment unable to get past CRL Rosberg. It's quite interesting. We might have only 10 cars, but we've got a lot of teammates here. 2 Saubers, 2 Williams and 2 Force Indias in this race, so they can maybe try and work together and help each other out, but it is the top tier of AOR, and quite often the drivers are working for themselves. They're not interested. I mean, if I was a team situation, EVR Reynolds might be calling on the radio, get Brown out the way, I'm on the quicker soft tyre, and there you go. Brown is coming into the pits now. He's joined by TOR Leopard, so they are the first people to blink here today. So what tyre are they going on to? I would presume a set of the soft compound tyre. Into the box comes Leopard, up on the jacks, and on go a set of the soft compound tyres, as you would expect, and away he goes like clockwork. And he'll be looking to get that undercut on CRL Rosberg and perhaps Danny M7. But Danny M7 is 9 tenths behind CRL Hamilton, but he is the net leader at the moment, and that is because CRL Hamilton has got a time penalty, so not good for him at all. And as you've alluded to, Jess, it is a track where we do see time penalties extremely often, so there's a chance that Hamilton could accumulate more penalties. There's also a chance that his rivals could accumulate a few, so he needs to stay disciplined and keep things under control, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He can't afford any more time penalties, otherwise the win will definitely be taken away from Hamilton. But we will keep an eye on the penalties as it continues. Obviously, I can't go back a space because I'm streaming, but hopefully if Andy can keep an eye on the penalties as it develops as well, just to see if anyone is close to getting a penalty due to a lot of warnings as well, because it could decide this race. But we've got some more battles developing. We've got EVR Reynolds trying to close in onto Sam as well. We've still got a train developing, not as big of a train as we thought before, but are we going to the latter stages of this race as we see more people deciding that they want to pit? Possibly Leopard has chosen the right time to pit there, as we've seen one of the leading bunch, Pinecone, is pitting. Sam is pitting, so they are making the jump at the moment. That is allowing Reynolds to make his way out through the field and close on to Lockdown at the moment. Reynolds on a different strategy, so maybe the ultra soft tyres could be faster, but the ultra softs are struggling. But I'm noticing Reynolds struggle on the soft tyres, which is not that normal for people.
Oh, hold on,
Hamilton's
off the road.
Oh, I think we commentated
He's off the road.
Andy.
I said it might happen, and I've called it. CRL Hamilton was way off the road there, Jess. Way off the road, and now Danny M7 is right on his tail, and as well as that, he's picked up yet another time penalty. Goodness me, CRL Hamilton. Oh, I don't want to be critical, but come on. You've got to try your best and stop getting penalties. So often it happens, and he's got himself in a brilliant position to go on and win this race today, and he's collected 2 time penalties in 9 laps, and Danny M7 is right up behind him. Danny M7, he might not know that CRL Hamilton's got penalties. He will certainly know after seeing him go off the track there. That is a slam dunk. Now Danny can smell blood. He's climbing all over the back of that Williams car as they go down into that stadium section. The fans up in that grandstand, that huge grandstand, watching on as Danny M7 continues to pile the pressure on CRL Hamilton, and so far he's not responding well to that pressure. 2 time penalties, and Danny M7 is currently setting very pretty indeed. What about Leopard? How's he getting on? He's ahead of Pinecone, he's ahead of Brown, he's ahead of Sam, he was ahead of all of them, I believe, before the stops anyway. So here comes Hamilton and Danny into the pits together. So it's going to be a race between the mechanics in the pit stop between those two. We'll need to keep an eye on where Pinecone feeds out as a result of this. This will now allow Reynolds to move up into second. He's going long. Away out of the box goes Danny M7. Is he ahead or is he behind the Williams? He is ahead, crucially, of that Williams, but we need to look for Pinecone, who's coming down the start-finish, sorry, not Pinecone, TOR Leopard coming down the start-finish straight, and you know what? That undercut has worked to absolute perfection for TOR Leopard. He's worked it brilliantly. 2-lap undercut on both Hamilton and Danny, and he takes that position. We've lost you, Jess, from the session, which is a real shame.
Yeah, it's lagging like crazy. So I've just got a screen freeze, so we're gonna have some audio commentary whilst this happens. So whilst I restart my Xbox, yes. I'm gonna hand it to you whilst I sort it out. I'm really sorry.
Okay, do you need an invite, Jess? Is that something you're require?
I'll restart my Xbox. I will message you when I'm ready.
I'll give you guys some audio commentary for the moment. It's Radio AOR here. Welcome on 95.5 FM. CRL Rosberg in the lead at the moment from AVR Reynolds in second. And Reynolds around 8/10 behind CRL Rosberg. He's going well on those soft compound tyres. Remember, AVR Reynolds, of course, has not been into the pitch yet. He started this race on the soft compound tyre. The only man to do that. Everyone else started on ultras and has now fitted the soft compound. CRL Rosberg yet to make a pit stop, of course, but TOR Leopard getting that crucial jump on CRL Hamilton and Danny M7 and a few others to get that position, that lead position. He's now leading CRL Hamilton as CRL Rosberg comes into the pits. I will give you guys a quick rundown on the race order in a few moments' time. Wait for this pit stop from CRL Rosberg. Pinecone has actually picked up a 3-second time penalty right now, folks, as Rosberg gets back on his way. He was third, remember, before all the pit stops, but this very, very late stop has dropped him all the way down the order. Goodness me, he's going to be down in 9th position. So that late stop has cost him time. He's lost 6 places, and from the front of the field, he drops down to the very, very back. So that just gives you guys an idea of how tight this field is. You pit 2 laps later, you drop from the podium to down in 9th place. But the lap 11 out of 28, once again, we apologise for these issues that we're having at the moment. Hopefully Jess will be back as soon as possible. But we're going to try and get that footage back for you. Currently listening on AOR radio at the moment. It is AVR Reynolds in the lead, yet to stop. TOR Leopard is second, third, and it's fourth for Danny M7. And I think Jess is going to get it. I'm going to drop Jess an invite right now. So hold on a sec, folks. How do I drop an invite on this?
I don't think you can in spectator mode.
Tell me that. Surely there's got to be a way to do that.
Just hope someone goes in the pits.
It's not good. And we've now lost cryo lockdown from the session as well. So somebody said in the chat, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Well, you're absolutely right. We have to apologise for that. And we've had such a small field as well. But cryo lockdown is now disconnected from 8th position. So I'm afraid, folks, until someone comes into the pits, you are stuck with audio commentary, and I will quite happily provide that if you guys don't mind. It's better than absolutely nothing. I'm going to have a little scramble around and see if there's anything I can do to try and get Jess back into this lobby, but I don't believe there is. I'm afraid not, and that is a real shame for you guys watching at all. But yeah, I cannot get Jess back into this lobby, and I'm afraid that's that. If there's anyone watching in the chat that tells me I can send invites, please tell me how I do that. I'm not really used to Xbox. How do I do that? In the party chat, go to invite more, but I'm not in a party.
We're on Discord.
Yeah, we'll join a party, Jess. I'll create a party, and then a party, okay? And then we'll try and get the audio back. Thanks for the assistance there of people in the chat. I'm not used to Xbox, so I'm going to try and do that right now for you guys. So apologies for this small issue that we're having, but I'm going to drop you an invite now, Jess, and hopefully we can get the action back for you guys pretty. So if you are Reynolds in the lead at the moment, TLR Leopard second, Sierra Hamilton is third, and Danny M7 fourth. And I should let you guys know there was actually a time where the Flying Finn, we lost Justin one time from a race. The Flying Finn was leading the race, and the time when he was in the pits to drop an invite. In fact, I don't even think he was in the pits. He had time to drop an invite, such as the dominance that he's had all season long. But there we go, we got Jess in the party, so let's try and figure out how to do an invite. How do we do that? Oh no, I'm afraid, folks, I'm going to have to make things even worse for you. There's more bleak news. The invite party to game option is unfortunately greyed out, so I cannot invite Jess into the lobby. So I'm afraid I can do about that. Unless there's anything else I can do, please let me know.
Help! SOS! Help!
Help, folks. There's nothing I can do.
Well, Reynolds is going to the pits soon, or is he gone to the pits? I don't know.
Out on the track. He's still out there at the moment. He's no idea when he's going to make a pit stop, but unfortunately he's not doing it at the moment.
Yeah, ask Reynolds to, once he goes to the pits, invite me.
Well, I'll try and do that.
Cool. So again, sorry about this.
Need to invite him. How do I invite you? Is there any way I can invite you?
No, spectators can't invite, unfortunately, which is something they haven't done in the game at the moment. So whilst we wait for that, can we just have an update on the order for our lovely viewers?
I'll give you the order. Yep, briefly. We're at halfway stage. EVR Reynolds in the lead from Leopard Hamilton. Hold on, I'm not going to give you that now. I need to try and help these guys. I need to try and get this stream back. What we got here? I'm going to mute my mic for now, folks. Apologies for this, and hopefully I can get this sorted as soon as possible. Apologies.
And just enjoy the little slideshow whilst we wait.
Used to Xbox and how it works. I've been a PS4 man all my days, so now I can get lockdown back in here, hopefully. Have you got the invite, Jess? Are you getting an invite? Did I sent you one, didn't I?
Let me just check quickly.
Sending lockdown an invite.
It is I think it only works if the host is in the party. I think it only works if the host is in the party, which is.
Dropped you an invite. I've dropped you an invite.
Right, I did get the invite, but I'm not gonna say much at the moment, just in case it goes boom. So we are still waiting at the moment, just so we can get this sorted. I would like to apologise about these issues. I've never been in a stream where I've done that, so let's see what I can do. I am loading up now. I will switch the scenes over once I can join in. I'd like to thank Lockdown for sorting this out. He's been an absolute legend. So you will get some racing, but just not as much as you thought, which is yeah, so we will try and sort it as much as we can. So keeping our fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed in the chat, guys. I'm absolutely praying that it works. Right. Oh no! Wait a minute. I'm just gonna wait until the standing sets itself before I can say it's working again.
Thank everyone in the stream, everyone watching the stream for their patience about this, and actually the fact that they were interested to help us get that sorted. So thanks to everyone.
I think I'm sorted. So let's get the stream back up. Oh my God! Sorry about this, guys. We are back in action. We're back in business. Woohoo! So we can we can see the standings right now at the moment. So it looks like Leopard has taken the lead of this Grand Prix, which he is doing. I'm actually not that surprised that he's taken the lead of this Grand Prix because of the amazing moves that he has made in this Grand Prix already. So absolutely amazing stuff. But we can see already some positions dropping down a bit because of me just joining the lobby. Hopefully it will fix itself already, but I'm just seeing what other battles we've got at the moment. We are lap 16 of this Grand Prix at the moment, so luckily we joined at just about the right time at the moment. So once again, thank you guys to anyone who has helped trying to get me back in, and yeah, thanks to Lockdown who's just left the party now. So yes, definitely that is such a relief right now from us, and we can bring some good racing, Andy.
Yep, sorry, I have to say, apologies for that, folks, but we are back with the action. TOR Leopard, not sure if we caught it on the stream or not, but TOR Leopard did jump CRL Hamilton and Danny M7 in the pit stop, so a crucial early pit stop from TOR Leopard put him into position to take the lead. CRL Hamilton, remember, has got a number of penalties. We'll give you a penalty count in a few moments, but EVR Reynolds is still out there on the circuit, yet to make a pit stop. I don't know how much longer he's going to go, perhaps to around lap 20 before he fits a set of the ultra soft tyres, but at the moment he's 2.3 ahead of TOR Leopard, so he's going to have his work cut out in the final few laps of this Grand Prix to come charging back through. An inspired strategy decision, you could say, from 10th in the grid. We'll see how much it helps him, see how far up the field he will get on those tyres, because he will be charging through, but it is TOR Leopard in control of this race at the moment. CRL Hamilton is going to be the net second, with Danny M7 third, Pinecone will be fourth, P1R Brown next. But it looks like it's going to be one of those three, Leopard, Hamilton or Danny, that's going to win the race. But at the moment, I can't see past TOR Leopard because Hamilton has got a number of penalties. I'm going to quickly give you guys a quick count on who has got penalties and who doesn't. EVR Reynolds, CRL Hamilton, Cryo Lockdown. CRL Hamilton again has got another one, so he's got 2 penalties. Pinecone, Reynolds has got 6 to his name. And CRL Hamilton's got 9 to his name. Reynolds has got 9 to his name. So yeah, not good. 9 seconds for Reynolds, 9 seconds for Hamilton, 3 seconds for CRL Rosberg. So there you go, there's a quick penalty count up for you guys while we were away. So CRL Hamilton can just about forget any chances of winning this race. He's blown it, really. He was in a great position, and 3 penalties, and now he's going to be second on the road, but perhaps a lot further down come the finish of the Grand Prix, Jess.
I'm just wondering, when did he pick? So obviously we didn't get it in the stream. Did it say what stop he pitted on? Yeah,
he pitted on lap 8, CRL Hamilton. TOR Leopard was lap 6. I think it was just before we left. So Hamilton was 2 laps later than Leopard. He and Danny pitted together, and that's allowed Leopard to get into this position, of course, ahead of them on the road. As Leopard now himself picks up a 3-second time penalty. Oh, so the penalties slowly starting to mount up here as EVR Reynolds, at long last, ends the marathon stint of his on those soft tyres. He will finally put a set of ultra soft boots on, brand spanking new set, in the words of Martin Brundle, and away he goes out onto the racetrack, does EVR Reynolds, and we'll keep an eye on, see how far up the field he can charge in that Pink Panther. But at the moment, TOR Leopard in control despite having penalties. Danny M7 actually might be the net leader at the moment as he's 2 seconds off the lead, but 3 seconds for Leopard in terms of time penalties. The other question, of course, CRL Hamilton, will he decide to play the team game and back Danny M7 up to give Leopard the 3-second buffer he needs? But that would be the clever thing to do, but of course that will never happen in AOR. Everyone fights for themselves, and TOR Leopard in control at the moment, but not having the gap to Danny M7, who's just keeping it pegged around 2 seconds. A car between him and Leopard is CRL Hamilton, who's out of sync really due to the number of penalties he has amassed. 3 seconds for Leopard, 9 for Hamilton, none for Danny M7 as him in the net lead, and Leopard's off the road, in fact, way off the circuit. Hamilton goes back through, and now Danny M7 nearly gets a move on Leopard. I don't know what happened there. Leopard must have lit up the rear tyres. Off the road he went, and CRL Hamilton retakes the lead of the Grand Prix and drops Leopard to second. So there you go, Leopard, a big moment there, and that surely makes Danny M7, if he doesn't collect any penalties, the race favourite. What happened there to Leopard? Just lit up the rears, and off he went.
Oh my god, I think we spoke too soon of how well Leopard's doing. Another commentator's curse. We are roping in commentators' curses today. Every time we speak about a driver doing well, they absolutely bin it. So we're not going to try and say too much about drivers' pace at the moment, because I'm worried they could possibly bin it a corner or get more time penalties. It's probably going to be decided on penalties again, which is not what we want to see at these later stages of this Grand Prix. So also, I think just to give you a quick update, we've also seen PS4 servers have issues with F1 2017. So possibly it's probably not just Xbox or anything like that. It's possibly the game itself, the game servers having issues tonight. So we can equally apologise again, but not going to say too much. And yeah, so that is quite bad. I won't be surprised if this race gets rerun, but we'll have to wait and see. But this battle already is starting to take shape at the moment, so it's great to see these go right on board. So the closest battle we can see is, who haven't got penalties, is Pinecone and Danny and Seven. Will Leopard back his teammate to try and make sure Pinecone stayed? Oh, we got a Salbot, I think it was Lockdown, that would just put off a little bit from Pinecone, which didn't help him in the slightest a little bit. So that didn't work out for him in the slightest. So hey ho for that one. So we got about 8 more laps of this Grand Prix at the moment. Leopard down to 3 seconds. This could be interesting, but I know Hamilton's in the lead, but he's got to be careful. He's got to stretch this gap to make sure he can try and win this Grand Prix. Maybe it could happen. Let us know your thoughts on who your driver of the day is so far, as Reynolds is already picking up the pace on these ultra soft tyres. He's probably not going to win the race, but he is certainly going to try and get fastest lap, and he has done so already so far. So absolutely brilliant work from the guys at the moment. So that will be interesting. So this is going to be and Azal. Oh my God, Azal, speaking about Reynolds, he got a time penalty. What is going on today? Every time I speak about a driver, they get a penalty. I think I shouldn't say anything much, Andy. Oh my God.
It's crazy, and Hamilton as well, penalty. So the two of them mounting up their penalty counts. The two of them will be getting close to disqualification pretty soon, the way it's going. But TOR Leopard still hunting down CRL Hamilton at the moment. Behind that, though, Danny M7 and Pinecone doing battle for third position. So the two Williams scampering away a little bit. But not quite the 3 seconds that Leopard needs to win this Grand Prix at the moment. But anything can happen. We've got 8 laps to go, of course, and there's every chance that Danny M7 himself could pick up a penalty, and especially when he's got pressure from behind. Climbing all over the back of him is Pinecone, and is Pinecone ready to make a move pretty soon? He's right up behind Danny M7 now, and there's plenty of places where you can overtake on this track, as we've seen already many times in this Grand Prix. Will he try a lunge up into turn 1 as they come round that final corner to start lap 21 out of 28? Pinecone tucked right up behind Danny M7. Is the Haas car going to send one up the inside into the first corner? He's having a look, he has a think, and decides better of it. It's quite interesting. TOR Leopard seems like the man who likes to play with fireworks. He likes to give us some fireworks on track at all times. He goes for moves everywhere. He's sometimes criticised by his fellow drivers that he's often a little bit too aggressive, but personally, I'm a big fan of seeing some big lunges up the inside. It gives us great entertainment. But is Pinecone just waiting for that DRS zone to have a look at the back of Danny M7, who's running very, very wide on the run down the hill towards the hairpin, and Pinecone looks like the man on the move at the moment as they go through the turn 11 hairpin, then climb out of there, on up through the gears towards turn 12. Is Pinecone close enough to make a move? Danny M7 will not have DRS, so Pinecone has got an opportunity here. He's closing as EVR Morso picks up a 3-second time penalty. Goodness me, if I had a tally mark sheet, I think the sheet would be full of the number of penalties we've had so far. Quite incredible as Pinecone again gets up behind Danny, but is unable to make a move. Still Hamilton leading despite his penalties. Leopard second, Danny third, and fourth for Pinecone at the moment, Jess.
Yeah, some very interesting stuff from Danny and Pinecone. They're matching out a little bit very nicely. And it will be interesting to see how they're like in Brazil. Brazil is the last track, and who will be on top, the best of the rest after Evo and the Flying Finn. It will be interesting to see as we approach the last week, next week, which will hopefully have Justin back. Fingers crossed. Hopefully he will be better to join Andy in the commentary box. But one interesting battle, and no, this might not mean anything because of penalties, is between Hamilton and Leopard to see if they can gain some positions after Danny M7. So it might not be on track, but it may be for later on down the track, so both of them having penalties. I think Hamilton has more penalties than Leopard though, so possibly Leopard will go in front of Hamilton at this stage. So that's probably why they're not fighting as much on track at the moment. I do see two of them going off the track again. So they are exceeding the track limits quite a lot today. It is quite common, and Reynolds has got another time penalty. It'll be quite not so that surprising if Reynolds might be in risk of disqualification if he keeps that up. So hopefully this won't happen at the moment. But it looks like all 10 drivers at the moment might be finishing, but I don't want to jinx it anymore and not say anything. That's going to be the end of that for finishes or anything like that, because I don't want to jinx anything. But right now they're closing in as well. I'm also keeping an eye on the battle with Pinecone and Danny M7 as well, just to see how that develops. That's the only close battles at the moment. But we also got Reynolds 1 second down on Rosberg as well, and Rosberg's 1 second down on Pierre Brown as well. But Brown is too far back from Pinecone to see if he can make a move. But so far we got 3 battles soon to develop, more so on the ultra softs, and we got Reynolds 9/10 of a second closing into Rosberg now. So this should be very, very interesting. He is making up a few tenths a lap, possibly more than a second per lap at the moment, so this should be good. But can Leopard make a move into turn 1 on Hamilton? No, he thinks better of it. He's staying put at the moment. He knows I think Hamilton's got a penalty as well, so that is probably why he is sticking to it at the moment. But I don't think any of these drivers know if they have penalties or not, so this can play dividends at this stage. But already Reynolds is starting to make some ground already. He's got some fantastic pace over Rosberg. He's possibly going to make a move right now going into that chicane at the moment. He did exceed the track limits a little bit, but again Reynolds has got a lot of penalties as well, so, and he's got another warning as well. Oh my god, they got to be careful with track limits in these tracks. It's unbearable to see them getting penalties. It's obviously not that like in real life because they're more careful, but obviously they're more aware of these things as well. So now it's 2 seconds down. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. Reynolds is trying to make a move down the outside of Rosberg there. Looks like he's got the job done really nicely. We can see Rosberg on the back of Reynolds as well, but nicely done. These ultra softs have definitely helped Reynolds, and now up into P6. We will probably stay in P7 after those penalties, Andy.
It's a real shame for Reynolds that he got all those penalties, because it would make great viewing watching him carve his way up through the field. He's P6 now. I don't think he'll have any problem passing P1R Brown for P5, but will he get any further up the field than that? He's got every possibility he will. Interestingly, and crucially, Danny M7 around 2.4 seconds off the back, 2.6 now of Leopard. He is on course to win this race by 4 tenths. He has to keep that gap under 3 seconds to get the victory. Otherwise, Leopard is going to be the man smiling. The problem here is that for Leopard, he needs to get a move on here and try and pass Hamilton, because if he does, he might just get away and get that 3 seconds he needs. Remember, Leopard has got 3 seconds of penalties. Oh. Danny has got none, and Reynolds is now making a move on Brown, and that was candy from a baby. Easy stuff.
Oh,
with
we
the
got a
difference
bit
of
of
the tyres. And
contact
whoa!
from the Toro Rosso and the Force India there. So the Force India has lost position. That was Pierre Brown as well. So I think Rosberg got a bit greedy there going through there. He was a little bit careful. There'll probably be some stewards' inquiries after the race then. That's allowing Sam to go through as well. So what a heavily mistake from Rosberg. That is disadvantaged Brown there. So what a shame from Brown, but luckily he's keeping going. I'm just going to check to see if he's got any damage at the moment. I've got more so. I can't see at the moment if he's got damage. Looks like he's alright at the moment. He's got home scot-free at the moment. Yes, he seems to be fine at the moment. So all dandy for, as I said, as Brown. So alright at the moment. He's trying to make his way down the field. But that's allowing Reynolds to go up to P5. And soon he could possibly try and chase Pinecone. He was 5 seconds down just now. Now he's 3 seconds down. That is absolutely amazing stuff from Reynolds. I've seen the ultra soft strategy work very well, trying to make their way down the field, like we saw with Team Marduk in the Oceania race this morning for the season 2. And I think Reynolds is doing a Ben-esque kind of move there at the moment, trying to make his way through the field. Absolutely amazing stuff there from Reynolds. But Pinecone is on the back of Danny at the moment. This is heating up already as well, and whatever battle goes on, that's allowing Reynolds to close up to Pinecone. So those two have got to be extremely careful as they're taking some very tight lines, Pinecone and Reynolds at the moment. Pinecone will probably have an advantage due to the fact... Oh, another penalty from Reynolds. Could this day get any worse?
Pinecone.
Oh, he's making a move. Oh,
Yep,
a little bit of wheels spinning at the moment, but looks like... Oh, it's going to be very, very close. Can Pinecone defend quite nicely? They're wheel to wheel at the moment, going through towards the penultimate corner. Who's going to make the move stick at the moment? Looks like it is Pinecone. Looks like Reynolds has got to let him through because of that time penalty, but he's not giving up at the moment. We do see the Force India in the background weaving all over the place at the moment, so it looks like he is struggling with his soft tyres as well, so this could be interesting at the moment. So another battle we're following quite closely is the lead as well between Hamilton and Leopard, but obviously this might not be happening due to those time penalties, but we will be interviewing them after the race and seeing how they feel at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, that race has just been blown wide open for Leopard. He'll be absolutely delighted to see that Danny M7 has just lost that position to Pinecone, because that now means that Leopard wins this race, because Pinecone himself has got time penalties. Danny M7 is the only one of the top 4 that doesn't. He's now more than 3 seconds behind TOR Leopard, and that now means that Leopard will win this race. So that was a crucial move from Pinecone.
Leopard's got penalties as well, I think.
Leopard does, but Leopard's still going to win. He's only got one, I believe. One penalty for TOR Leopard.
Okay. Sorry.
So he is going to win this race at the moment, even with that 3-second time penalty, and that is absolutely crucial. In fact, let me have a look and see, just in case that he hasn't got any more. I know he got one on lap 17. Did he get any more before that? He said certainly had a few warnings, as Leopard. No, he has not. So that is it. TOR Leopard at the moment is on course to win this race as a result of that Danny M7 loss of position to Pinecone, unless he gets back in front of Pinecone and finds a second to get back within range. So Leopard can now stay behind Hamilton, and he's got the job done. At lap 26 out of 28, we were hoping, as neutrals, to see a 4th different winner this season. It looks like we're not going to. TOR Leopard is going to win this race. Cyril Hamilton's going to drop down the order like a stone due to his penalties. And the same problem for EVR Reynolds, which is a real shame. He's really closed in on that group. Look at him now, right onto the tail of Danny and Pinecone here. His strategy has worked brilliantly. It's such a shame he got all those penalties earlier on in this Grand Prix, because he'd be right in the mix. And of course, you could say the same about Hamilton as well. So here comes EVR Reynolds out of that final corner on those ultra soft tyres. Clear pace advantage over Danny M7. And the misery's going to get heaped on here. If he gets this move done, it's going to get even worse. And up the inside, a late lunge from Reynolds. Danny defended it late, but he defended it all in vain, because it looks like Reynolds has got the move done as they sweep down the hill, side by side. Still, Danny M7 doesn't give it up, but finally he has to. And Reynolds climbs up into 4th position. And that pretty much cements TOR Leopard's position as the victor of this Grand Prix, as Danny drops further behind him, battling with Reynolds. What an absolute disaster that is. Hamilton leading, but not because of penalties, and Leopard is going to be your race winner with 2 laps to go, unless Danny can do something and get back to within 3 seconds, but that is extremely unrealistic.
Yes, that's what happened in the Oceania race this morning. Warden won the race, but it was decided on penalties. So I think this is going to be the second race I commentate on, where it's also decided on penalties. Which is a bit of a shame, really, because we've seen the likes of Reynolds absolutely doing astonishing with his strategy, managing to last the soft tyres to about lap 20 or so and make it work, which is very good for him. But he's got time penalties as well, but he'll still be at a decent points finish for this race, which will be absolutely amazing for him. So at the moment, he's one of my contenders for driver of the day. I don't know about you, Andy, but yes, this should be an interesting last few laps of this Grand Prix.
Wide goes Pinecone, and up the inside goes Reynolds. Apologies for coming across you there, Jess. They're going side by side down the start-finish straight there, and Reynolds gets the move done, it would seem, on the brakes into turn 1, and I'm just keep saying it, but if he never had the penalties, it would be some drive from him. But he's now up into that 3rd position on the track. He will drop down with penalties as Leopard continues to harry the back of CRL Hamilton. It looks to me like it's all over, and TOR Leopard is going to coast it home to victory as a result of the penalties for others. It's a shame that the penalties are going to come into play, but that's the way it is, as Pinecone tries to get back at EVR Reynolds, but I don't think there's going to be any way for him to do that, as Leopard on this final lap tries to just confirm that victory by making a move on CRL Hamilton. I'm not sure if he will be aware that CRL Hamilton has got as many penalties as he does, so we'll keep an eye on this battle down the back straight towards turn 12. Is TOR Leopard going to have a look at his Williams teammate? Here we go on the brakes. Is he going to try and dive right around the outside of Hamilton? Hamilton defends the inside, and Leopard remains behind him. He's going to win the race anyway, but it's still good to see such great drama on the final lap of this AOR Xbox race. Is Leopard going to do the job? It looks like it. It's going to be a 2nd win of the season for him. He's one of the rising stars of the future. Is TOR Leopard. Hamilton couldn't hold it together. He's led virtually from the start of this Grand Prix, but due to penalties, he's dropped out of position, and round the final couple of corners they will come. Hamilton will go to hit the line first, but it's TOR Leopard with a disciplined drive that's going to come home to win his 2nd race of the season. Leopard wins in the United States. Hamilton expected to drop right down the order. He doesn't drop behind Reynolds, but he does drop behind Danny, who's 2nd, Pinecone, who's 3rd, Rosberg gets 4th, and I think that is the damage for Hamilton and Reynolds. I don't think they'll drop any further. Let's have a look. Sam hits for the line, and he does even beat Reynolds as well. And so
Reynolds
does
is dropping way
Brown.
down the order.
As far as he will go, he won't go any further than that. But Reynolds and Hamilton, the story of their races will be defined on those penalties they received. But it's a 2nd win of the season for TOR Leopard. Congratulations to him. A disciplined drive, only 1 penalty for him there, and that is what decided it. He had a good race-long battle with his teammates CRL Hamilton and other drivers that he was fighting before the pit stops. He came in 2 laps earlier. That gave him the clean air, and in the end, he is the deserving winner of this race. Danny M7 and Pinecone complete the podium. It was a fantastic race for a race with only 10 drivers. As to be said, we must apologise once again for issues we had during that Grand Prix, but we got back to it, and TOR Leopard is the victor of this race. Congratulations to him. Magnificent performance in the end, and for me, Jess, he is my driver of the day. He kept his discipline. You could also argue Danny M7. He collected no penalties, but in the end, Leopard did enough to win. So Leopard wins from Danny M7 in 2nd. TR Pinecone brought it home in 3rd. CRL Rosberg was 4th. CRL Hamilton dropped all the way back to 5th with 15 seconds worth of penalties. P1R Brown was one of 2 drivers alongside Danny M7 with no penalties. He was 6th. Sam F1 LFC was 7th. EVR Reynolds with a monstrous 18-second time penalty came home 8th. Morso was 9th, and Cryo Lockdown's car brought it home in 10th. So it was a good race, Jess. I've got to ask you, who was your driver of the day?
Well, I have to agree. Leopard has done absolutely tremendous. Danny also getting no penalties as well. But I think Reynolds, with his tyre strategy, has made it work. So I think one of my driver of the day got to go to Reynolds. It was a shame for his time penalties. He got 18 seconds of time penalties. Whoa. So I think Reynolds and Hamilton has done very well. But it's got to be our race winner, Leopard. absolutely astonishing at the moment. I'm just going to see if we got a few people ready for interview. Looks like we got Danny ready for interview. He is very keen. He's taken second place. We're going to see if Leopard is keen to join us. I know he's keen. And also our other person in the top 3, which I believe is Pinecone. So we will find at some point. But should we drag him in, Mandy?
There he is, Danny M7. Obviously, we have not got Leopard at the moment. We'll see if we can get Leopard in here. Perhaps we will, perhaps we won't. And perhaps Pinecone as well. But Danny M7, congratulations on that second place. It was an interesting race. It was a tight battle between all those guys in that usually midfield group. So it was always going to be a battle and anyone could have got. But you must feel that there was a chance gone there, a chance of winning that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I felt as though I wasn't robbed. I wouldn't say robbed, but definitely Leopard definitely had the best strategy in the end, just undercutting me and Hamilton. And then from then on, I was just trying to keep behind Hamilton, because at one point I looked on the race director and I seen how many penalties he had. I was like, right, keep within a gap. And then I seen Leopard had a penalty as well, so I thought, right, if I can stay within 3 seconds, I've got the win here. And then it was weird because I had a massive lockup at one point. And then since then I had no front end grip at all. Usually the rear tyres go first, and I think I finished on 79% on the left front. So I don't understand what happened there. That's why I just fell back. I just had no front end grip. But to keep it clean, because that's what I was trying to do all race, to keep it clean, keep it on track, and reward of second place. So I'm happy, I guess.
2 drivers, I suppose, that didn't get a penalty, yourself and P1R Brown, and it did look like for a long period of that Grand Prix, due to the penalty that Leopard had of 3 seconds, and of course Hamilton's massive 15-second penalty, that you were going to be the victor. And as you say, was that the decisive moment then, those tyres starting to go, and then you had the charging Reynolds and Pinecone coming at you, and that pretty much cemented it, didn't it? And yeah, just unfortunate, and a chance missed for you. So what about qualifying? How did you feel about that? A decent lap? Quite happy with that?
Just like everyone really. We probably could have got a bit more out of the car. I think I was about 2/10 off my personal best, but even at the start of the race, pace was quite good. So shame about the slipstream glitch again, but we can't do much about disconnect. But I think I can still take a few positives away from this. Definitely take it into Brazil. So, yeah.
I'll just check. I think it is Brazil. I've got it here. Oh, I've lost it. I think yep, Brazil. And moving on to Brazil, you're the final race of the championship. How do you run there? How do you feel about that? Is that one where you could go well?
Well, I hope so. With ILR going there as well. I hope so. I think last season the back end of AOR was quite competitive, I think. So the weather could throw a few surprises as well. But yeah, I think the last race for AOR, I think I'm going to give it my all and hopefully come out with a victory. Because I really do want one now.
Of course, with no flying fin in the closing events. I don't know what happened to Evo today. He had an issue as well. There's every possibility. It sort of opens it up a little bit. Flying Finn winning so many races this season on his way to a dominant title victory. So yeah, there's every chance you could, Danny. It's a second podium of the season for yourself as well. So that must please you as well after that win in Italy.
Yeah, definitely. Just a few moments in that race where I would have done a few things different. Just maybe pit a bit earlier, and then even on the lap I pitted, Hamilton made a mistake, and if I'd have just went one way, the other way where he went defending, I could have gone to the lead there. But it's always easy to say after a race, and especially when the Leopard was off the track at one point, and he came back on he nearly hit me, but he didn't. So I don't know what was happening with the tyres, but I sound like I'm making excuses, but yeah, I'm still happy.
Well, congratulations on second place. Or as you said, it might have been more. Good job, well done. And on to Brazil. But Jess, got to ask you, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, Danny, absolutely amazing stuff. Your pace was brilliant all race, and I can see the hunger on your eyes. And I just hope Brazil goes very, very well for you. And I think you'll have some fun next week, I feel, because you won't be in as much pressure. But how are you excited about season 16 coming up for F1 2018? Hyped up for the game now after that result today?
Definitely, yeah. I think I'm gonna definitely do season 16. Trying to improve myself even more. Considering to see how much I've improved from last game and then the start of this game to now, I think if I could make just another little step for 2018, I think I could be up there and it'll be a fun season. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it whatsoever. So just before we go then, I'd just like to update you on some championship deciders that happened across all of our other tiers on Xbox One, because I usually commentate on F2 and I had to step in for Andy to stream, so I was going to commentate on F2 tonight, but I haven't. But they kept me updated on the championship. But I'd just like to announce a new championship winner has been crowned in F2 tonight, which is in the hands of KJ Gamer. So well done to KJ Gamer for taking the F2 title. He joins the likes of the Flying Finn, who has won an AOR's title for season 15. So well done. He had to outscore MPV 0 and he did just that. So absolutely well done to him. Classing driving for him all season as well. And the recording of that stream will be up tomorrow, so you can have a look at that as well. Any final words to say, Andy, about the racing we've had today?
Well, it was a bit different. There's no doubt about it. It was only 10 runners, but the 10 runners we had were quite evenly matched, and it was an open race all race long. I quite enjoyed it, and perhaps it was a bit of a shame that we had so many penalties that didn't allow the racing to be as pure as we usually like. Also, a quick word on the F2 champion. Congratulations to him, and maybe next season we'll see him in the top tier. So yeah, congratulations to him, and I think that rounds it all off. So congratulations to TOR Leopard on his second win of the season. Well done to him. He beats Danny M7 to second and TR Pinecone in third. Well, I hope you all join us again next week for, of course, the final round of the championship, same time as always at 8 p.m. on Sunday night. It will be the Brazilian Grand Prix, and I believe we will have Justin back for that one. So that's it from me. That's it from Jess.
Yeah, that's it from me, sorry, and we will see you next time.